I know that. I live 3 minutes away. I didn't know I want to get here an hour early. Oh my gosh. We're going to pull some chair for you guys. Okay. Perfect. Okay, we're going to get another chair for you, Joe. All right, good morning. Yes, I'm so excited to see a couple online and Aaron and Tiffany. We are here live in person for this first time workshop at City Hall in Poulsbo, about to dive into measuring what matters. We are doing kind of roundtable here, so we're again really excited to be here. My name is Lynn Hino. It's kind of hard to see me, but I'm waving my arms right now, but you'll be hearing my voice throughout this workshop today. And since we've got a really great group of people, we'll start with those online if you're comfortable. But if you can just quickly introduce your name and why you are here today, maybe something you want to learn, that would be wonderful.
First, um, my name is Aaron Logue. Me and my wife, we own several businesses in the community, and Google is a part of our business in a lot of capacities, from emails to obviously folks finding us online. And it's always changing, and what was relevant 6 months ago might not be relevant today. So just trying to working to understand what's trending now, and things that I should know that I might not, and forecasting into the future about things to maybe start thinking about and implementing.
Love that. Thank you so much for jumping in and sharing a little bit about yourself, Erin. Thanks for joining us. And we also have Tiffany online too.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Kelklin. I'm with West Sound Workforce. I'm the Client Relations Manager, and I was invited to this fabulous presentation by you, personally, Lynn. So out of curiosity and wanting to know more of how we can move forward technology-wise and be better suited to understand measurable results, I thought this would be a great opportunity to learn some things.
Excellent. Love hearing that. Measuring results, seeing what's trending, being able to forecast. We will talk about all of that. But since we've got a full round table, do we want to do quick introductions? Joe, we can start with you.
Okay, hi. I'm Joe Halsey. I put on the Poulsbo Blues and Jazz Festival, and coming up February 21st and 22nd, there's still tickets. And I'm also on the Parks and Rec Commission, and so I thought I could benefit both of my hats for coming here and learning about this, because we know Lynn can't handle it because she's too busy doing other things. So that's why I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you.
Brought you a gift.
Oh, excellent. We'll talk about that.
Hi, I'm Carlos with Jello Penguin Productions. I've done some work. I'm a videographer, cinematographer, photographer, storyteller. I've actually done some work for City of Poulsbo, Bainbridge Island, Parks and Rec, and some local businesses, including foundations such as the Blue Star Banner Program, Creative Mornings, and let's see, Animal Emergency Care. Just up the hill. So done a variety of things locally. And yeah, I was invited to this last minute. But when I heard it was Google, I'm actually someone that has been thriving off Google lately. I have clients even like in New York, New Jersey, while even living out here, and that's thanks to Google and how I've been able to optimize my platform. So I wanted to kind of see a little bit more from a local perspective. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Great.
I'm Lynette George. I'm the founder of the Blue Star Banner Program, and I do the fundraisers, the Poulsbo Beer Run and the Poulsbo Bloody Mary Crawl, which is coming up on December 1st. And Ajlin had just set up both of my websites with the Google Analytics, and now I want to know what it means. So I'm really excited.
Good morning. I'm Brooke Huffman. My company is called The Social Sip, and I do social media and marketing specifically for wineries. I also represent all the wineries in Kitsap County, and I plan all of their events and social media and promotions. And I've used Google Analytics a little bit, but there is so much to learn. And so I'm really excited to see an opportunity to learn more. So thank you.
I'm Aljalyn Sperber. I'm co-hosting the workshop today. I'm the executive director for Visit Kitsap.
My name is Kim Dean, and I work with In Motion Performing Arts Dance Studio with Chris Weisbarth. Chris Goodfellow is actually who recommended that we come today, so we had a little bit of a discussion. We're hoping we can get some better marketing strategies out there just and get a little bit more involved with the community. So excited to be here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tiffany Diamond. I'm the events coordinator for the Greater Kitsap Chamber, and I'm also a photographer. That's my other gig. I found this on Facebook actually, and then was like, "That's what I want to do," and come and learn a little bit more. I echo Aaron. I don't know what I don't know, so I want to find out a little bit more. And I also wanted to come out for community, just to meet you all and have some fun. Love it.
Good morning. My name is Allison Pringle. I'm with Land Title Company and also a board member on Girls on the Run West Sound, and also found out about this event by Facebook and am very interested to learn more. So it's a very interesting topic and glad this opportunity is available.
Hello, my name is Amber Vicente Cordero. I am the sales coordinator at Land Title Company in Silverdale. I was invited by Allison Pringle. She is one of our sales representatives. I'm fairly new to the sales coordinator position, so I'm very excited to learn more about Google Analytics. We're mostly Microsoft, but we're open to see other options. So thank you for having me.
Hi, good morning. My name is Gretchen Lorden. I'm a representative of a local chapter of PEO, which is a women's organization. It's international. It's in Canada and US, throughout both countries. Kitsap County has 10 chapters of women who work to fundraise for scholarships, loans, and grants for women. And we also identify women in the community who we can sponsor to apply for those funds. And we are currently working in small scale fundraisers. We're hoping to start branching out into bigger fundraisers. And I thought this looked like a great idea to learn more about this. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Greg Enright with the Cultural Arts Foundation Northwest, which puts on the Makers Fair, second year this year. Down on the waterfront, the Poulsbo Art Festival, we just had our Art in the Woods. I'm here to see how the deep state tracks my movements.
Every way possible.
Excellent, excellent. And I know it looks like we had another joining us, Brian. We're just doing some fun introductions. If you would like to share, don't feel like you have to, but we really appreciate everyone joining us for the workshop.
Sure. I'm Brian Church. I own and run Kitsap Martial Arts. And so I saw this event pop up on Facebook, and while I am mostly digitally fluent, I'm always looking for better ways to sort of track engagement, understand where people are coming from, how to improve sort of how I advertise or how how I get my events out into the public.
Love it, love it. And I hope more people join in. This is a full 90-minute workshop. So for those in person, we do have snacks. Do not feel like you need to stay in your seats the entire time. This is going to be interactive. We want to open the dialogue. We want to be able to share some really good findings, but we also want to be able to answer your questions. So as you can see on my screen, we're really excited. I mean, it sounds like we all are involved with either events directly, business owner, community member, and professionals. So that's why we are here today. And it means a lot to be able to show up and assert that you're ready to learn and continue learning, because things are always changing, moving and grooving. So without further ado, we want to say hello. Yes, my name is Lynn Hino. I've been with the city of Poulsbo for 2 years as a special event coordinator, but my background has really been in all forms of marketing, whether it's omnichannel marketing via digital or in-person guerrilla marketing. I have a lot of experience over 10 years now of experience, and within being able to channel that and utilize online marketing, it's really important to be able to have these continual discussions because these platforms are constantly changing and updating, and they're becoming smarter, but we've got to stay with it. So these kind of discussions are really exciting, and the data matters to be able to share the story. So that's why I'm really excited to be here. And we are really excited to be collaborating directly with Visit Kids App. So I will let our other co-host introduce herself.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, I'm the executive director for Visit Kids App, in charge of bringing tourism to the whole peninsula. I formerly was the managing director of a marketing agency in LA. We specialize in integrated marketing, so that runs the gamut of digital PR, even web crawling. I can't get too deep state, Greg, but I can get a little bit there. And then from there, I went on to have my own startup, and I exited that, and then supported different projects around the county, and landed this role, which I'm so honored and excited to be in, because I get to promote this place that I really love to live in.
Excellent, excellent. I always like to share, so what are we going to talk about? Again, we're here for 90 minutes, but we are going to go over a little bit about the city of Poulsbo. We're going to learn how to implement Google Analytics. We're going to talk about the importance of event data, and then specifically marketing in Poulsbo and some local grant opportunities, because funding is always what drives us to be able to continue to do the great things we do. So, City of Poulsbo, we are located on 47 latitude, longitude. And so you can see here specifically, it's amazing that the zip code that we have, 98370, our city is a smaller portion of 4.5 square miles. So I include this amazing graphic of the Kitsap County, where we now have a really cool icon created by Visit Kitsap. With our Viking city. So our current population as of April 2024 is over 13,000, and showing the household income at 85,000, it gives us a benchmark of kind of what our current city population and audience is. For those of you, this is just found out within the last week, where we process business licenses as the city of Poulsbo. So I wanted to highlight, we have a fair amount of nonprofits here in the city, 61, with local owners being 942. Now we have a lot of non-local owners, so those outside the city of Poulsbo limits at 2,105. And then with our Poulsbo Chamber of Commerce, they've got 390 members. So in all, when you add up those two specific business licenses in the middle, you get 3,108 businesses in Poulsbo. Does that shock anyone else when you look at that? It's, for considering 4.5 acres, it's very impressive, miles of how many businesses we have represented. So we're hoping having this kind of workshop will not only increase how to better market those for businesses, but also, again, awareness is a huge portion of understanding there are a lot of great companies out there that may be able to benefit from this. So one of the things we like to highlight, and this is not comprehensive, but based off of who we've been able to work with as most popular or commonly used venues in the city of Poulsbo. So city parks are considered venues. As a special event coordinator, I help manage rentals for those with the Parks and Recreation Department. And then within spaces, our Denny's 24/7, that's open 24/7, does have a private rental room. Jewel Box Theater, Moe's on Liberty Bay, the North Kitsap Community Auditorium. We work directly with these venues to understand what the capacity is, and usually that's what we struggle with, right? Within, we want to bring a big group in, but what is the limit? So that's currently a snapshot of what we've got with Vinland Lutheran Church and the Community Auditorium, as well as the Sons of Norway, probably being the largest venues that we have to be able to offer. A lot of these other venues are very willing to work with you, but you would want to go directly to them to discuss what your needs are. Of course, the big question that we always have is, well, what about lodging? And how do we make sure people are staying in Poulsbo and having a great time? Of course, the two biggest avenues people always like to use is Airbnb and VRBO. Those are, from a city perspective, while we can track what the revenue earning is from them, we cannot have direct contact with each of those privately owned homes and spaces. So as far as the specific numbers, those change frequently because sometimes summer months, some homes, there's a lot more. Winter months, maybe not as many as people live in those homes. So within that kind of communication, that is probably our biggest area that we want to try and increase that, but it is difficult because we don't have their private information, understandably. Going from smallest to largest, we love our Hotel Scandy Poulsbo right on Front Street, very boutique, a really great unique stay. Guest House Poulsbo with 63 rooms, Poulsbo Inn and Suites with 83 rooms, and then the newest one in town and the largest with Fairfield Inn and Suites Poulsbo with 101 rooms. So just like to give that landscape. Now, in what I do for the city of Poulsbo is I help manage and process special event permits. And one of the key things, and every city has a different definition, but for the purpose of today, it's really helpful to make sure we're on the same page, is acknowledging what that is. So for our city, any activity on public property and or right of way, or held on a private property, which would significantly impact our city services, police, streets, parking, etc., and involves an open invitation to the public or attendance is private by invitation of 100 or more. So we have some key pictures here. You might recognize it, Viking Fest parade, always a hit, third weekend in May here in Poulsbo. Pets Walk by the Kitsap Humane Society gets a lot of great people involved, and the Poulsbo Beer Run there on the right. So these events are really, really key. And I'm just going to do a really quick overview, but if anyone has any questions, I'm always very accessible to chat about it. But these are now Poulsbo traditions. These events have been going on for 4 or more years. Some of the events you'll see with the asterisks newly created, they've been for at least 3 years or 4 years or more. But you can see I've kind of done it by season. So starting at the beginning of the year, all the way through the year, we really have a pretty booked schedule of annual events that we anticipate. For those of you that are looking at events that you want to host in the city, this is helpful to know because then you can recognize, hey, it may be busier that weekend, or maybe I want to choose a weekend that is not chosen because we want to continue to drive that tourism and traffic and bring something new to the community. So lots of great favorites. I'm not going to call them all out, but again, a really helpful snapshot. In general, as we talk about data, numbers count. And so it's helpful. I know this is a very busy graphic here, but long story short, as you're looking from 2019 pre-COVID to now 2024, we have doubled in the amount of events that we see here in the city of Poulsbo. And that means that people are coming and enjoying those events. So thank you for hosting them. But it's interesting, the way that we wanted to categorize this is by our seasonality, because you hear that oftentimes, what's happening in the summer, the fall, the winter, the spring. And clearly in January, February, March, that is our low season. We do not have as many events that happen in the beginning of the year. As we get into the second half of the year, they do increase quite a significant amount. So more and more events, it's really helpful to have that as just an understanding of where we're currently at today. But it's awesome to see that post-COVID, we're returning back to those initial numbers. So we're going to go ahead and get into how to implement Google Analytics. We are going to show a quick video. And so stay tuned. We're making sure the audio is being correctly identified. Here we go. All right, for those of you who are online, are you still following us? We're now on the video. Looks like I'm getting some thumbs up, and we're gonna go ahead and play this.
Hey there. Welcome to Measuring What Matters, a hands-on Google Analytics workshop brought to you by the City of Poulsbo and Visit Kitsap Peninsula. Whether you're an event organizer, small business, or someone curious about improving your marketing strategy, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to show you how to track what really matters for your events and business so you can better understand your audience, improve your outcomes, and even secure funding through grants. We'll walk you through setting up Google Analytics using our example site, the Poulsbo Beer Run, and dive into how you can use this data to grow your success. Let's get started. Google Analytics is an essential tool for anyone looking to measure the performance of their website. It helps you answer critical questions like, how are people finding your site? Which pages are the most popular? Are visitors engaging with your content the way you want them to? For event organizers, it can show how well your marketing is driving traffic and where potential attendees are coming from. This is invaluable for understanding what works, improving your marketing strategy, and gathering the kind of data that funders love to see. First things first, let's set up your Google Analytics account. Head over to analytics.google.com and sign in with your Google account. If you don't have one, set one up. Click on Start for Free and set up an account for your business. Give it a name, for example, Poulsbo Beer Run. Next, set up a property. This is where all your website's data will live. Name it something descriptive like Poulsbo Beer Run website. Choose your time zone and currency, then click Next. Select your industry category and size, and then create your data stream. Choose web and enter your website URL, like poulsbobeerrun.com. Once you've done this, Google will generate a tracking ID. Keep this handy because we'll need it to connect your website. Now let's connect Google Analytics to your WordPress site. For this, we'll use the Google Site Kit plugin, which makes integration super simple. Log into your WordPress dashboard. Go to Plugins, then Add New, search for Google Site Kit, and install it. Once installed, activate the plugin, and you'll see a prompt to set it up. Follow the steps to connect your Google account. When prompted, select your Google Analytics property. SiteKit will automatically insert your tracking ID into your site's code, so you don't have to.
We'll pause speaking here so you can watch the rest of the setup.
It's on your eating desk.
And just like that, you're now collecting valuable data about your website visitors. But give it about 72 hours to collect that data before you go looking. Now that your site is connected, let's take a look at the Google Analytics dashboard. Here are a few key reports to explore. Audience overview. This is where you get insight into who is visiting your website, including demographics, location, and devices used. Acquisition report. You can learn how visitors are finding your website, whether through search engines, social media, or other websites. Behavior flow. So Google SiteKit doesn't offer this, but if you look direct into Google Analytics, it'll show you the behavior flow of how people are navigating your website. And then conversions if you have specific goals set up. These metrics can help you determine which marketing efforts are driving traffic and engagement and where you might need to pivot.
Let's dive into the quarterly reporting that you need to send.
Excellent. So that is a video that is available on the City of Poulsbo website that you can always check out as an evergreen piece of material. I'll have Algernon come up and answer any quick questions about the implementation. We did do it on one example site, but if there's any quick questions about implementing it, please feel free to jump in.
I'll just quickly note that when you watch the rest of the video, it tells you that you can use your Google ID tracker or the ID tag or the number to just copy and paste that number onto your Wix or Shopify site, because we know not everybody has WordPress. And so we did the most complicated setup which was WordPress, because Shopify and Wix are very easy, and Squarespace too, are very easy to implement your Google ID tag into the website. It'll really just have in your settings, depending on what you're using, and you'll be able to find Google Analytics tag or ID, and you just take what you have from Google Analytics and you paste it into there. So I know it's might be hard to follow without the visual visualization, but it is the Wix, Squarespace, and Shopify are the easiest to set up Google Analytics to your website.
Is that a feature that you have to subscribe? Make sure that you're also subscribed another level to be able to activate that. Like
You
WordPress?
shouldn't have to subscribe to get Google Analytics, because Google Analytics is a free tool. So if you're on Shopify,
Well, but on
Wix, and
on WordPress, you have to get a higher level
to even have the
to
site
be able
kit.
to have plugins.
Yes, that is true with WordPress.
So I
That's
wasn't sure if that was a thing that.
not with Shopify or Wix or Squarespace. It's free.
If there's anyone online with questions, I just want to give a couple moments for that. But again, that video is going to be accessible, and it's really helpful because again, it's showing you how to actually screenshot it, the importance of that tag that Algernon just mentioned. And really once it's set up, you let the magic happen and it's going to start tracking that data. And we're going to do a live workshop portion of how to start getting and understanding what data to gather.
Yeah, I'll
Shortly.
do a live walkthrough of the dashboard.
Yeah. It doesn't look like we have any questions, so we'll continue on with the
Quick
presentation.
question,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Are you guys gonna send out maybe a quick summary with these links and maybe other key high-level notes at the end of the presentation?
Absolutely. And Aaron, if you want to chat just to the Parks and Recreation staff as the host, you can send us your email. That would be helpful since we're collecting it here live, but I know you are
Perfect.
digital. So if anyone does want the follow-up, it is easiest if I just get that direct email through the chat. And then that way we will 100% follow up. Great question. Okay.
Just to follow up on that one, if anybody wants to type or write down the YouTube link so that you can watch the whole video, do that right now. I was just watching Greg do that. So I figured I'd call that out to make sure everybody else can too.
Yes, and I did include it for those online, a direct chat link too, so you should be able to see that. Thank you, Erin, for sending your email. Excellent. So right now it is a YouTube link. We haven't found the perfect landing page, if you will, for where it will be housed, but it will be on the City of Poulsbo website. So I will send you where it will be. Most likely it'll end up being where our grant information is, because it's sort of encompassing data collection that's helpful for receiving those grant funds. But again, we'll follow up directly with where you can find that. And it should be searchable as well, Google Analytics, once we have it on the city website. Thank you for asking, Allison. Okay. We always like to say, when in doubt, Google search it out. So Google Analytics has a great support system. The website's right there. So if you're like, hey, it's not working for me, that was why what actually spurred us to host this workshop is everyone's unique in where they're at within who is actually creating the website. Maybe you're hiring a company to do it. Maybe you're doing it. Maybe you're having a volunteer. Maybe you're having your kid do it. Long story short, the Google support is the best way to figure out for you where you're at within what you've got. They've got really good community groups and chat forums to be able to search specifically for questions that you might have. So before we get into the live workshop data with the dashboard, we want to talk about the importance of event data. So measuring what matters. Ultimately, we really wanted to sum it up in quick ways. 4 reasons why data collection is important. So it really helps make better decisions based off of real world insights. You can identify areas of improvement. You can measure success effectively and building trust when you share your story. So similar to how I showed that data of many events we are hosting on an annual basis, we can now see that trend line. Okay, seasonally, as I identified, we have less events happening versus towards the end of the year. Well, it's pretty popular with holidays and fall here in the Pacific Northwest. So simple things like that, that data over years and even months helps us see those trend lines and identify areas of, okay, we don't need too many events in the fall because we pretty much have an event every single weekend when it comes to September, October, and November here in Poulsbo. So little things like that help us understand why that collection can empower us in decisions. Now, something that is really helpful is when it comes down to the type of data, there's a lot of information. I'm going to go through this, but again, feel free to ask any questions. But the type of data that you're collecting is important. So when we're saying, hey, we need data, what does that mean? And when you're collecting it, whether it's an event, whether it's your website, whether it's trying to summarize it for a presentation such like this, it's really helpful to verify your type of count because that gives you an ability to share where did you get that data from. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. Direct count, actual count of visitors. So I actually have a clicker here today, so I can count how many people are physically here today. It's really helpful because it just means it's really accurate and you can seek for that direct count from businesses, hotels, restaurants, things like that. An indirect count is different because it's an estimate count. So it's really based off of, hey, I know we have, 50 chairs in this room. It looked like it was 75% filled. We're guessing that, we had 40 people here. And that's fine to do because depending, and I've had this before where I don't have enough staff to dedicate to, hey, did you get a proper count? Or you have an event that's a really long period of time and those counts change as people come in at different times. So an estimate count is really helpful as an indirect count. A structured estimate is really produced by knowing information related to that venue or location. So as you can see in our picture, if the building code allows for 3 people per square feet and you know your square footage and you're like, this whole space was completely filled, you can base your structured estimate because you know that room is filled and you know the capacity limits of that room. So that's a great way to say that you had a structured estimate. Now, all of this is really great when it's surveys. So the 2 types of surveys you can seek is information collected directly from individual visitors and participants. So you have someone, how many people are part of your party? This is really helpful because as you're seeking to identify, hey, we're noticing more couples are attending this event. We're noticing individuals are attending. We're seeing more families are coming to this event. That can actually steer you to be able to better market as social media, for example, Facebook allows you to really target in on those type of demographics. So representative surveys are very helpful. Informal surveys, very similar, but the main difference is when you issue it at one time. So again, kind of what I mentioned is maybe you're only collecting at the beginning of your event and you can estimate that they're coming through, but people come and go because it's an event that allows that kind of activity. I always encourage something like this with a workshop. We have a sign-in sheet and I have my clicker. So I have 2 points of data that I can match up with each other to make sure that I've got the right direct count, that actual count. So again, these are really helpful definitions. And I will say this is focus from the Washington legislative ways of how they collect data, and this is towards a specific branch. So every organization or municipality may have a different preferred method, but it's helpful as you seek and gain this and share this and telling your story of sharing that you know the type of count that you have acquired. Surveying your attendees, you noticed that we talked about the two types of surveys possible. And so the main thing with the survey is you're empowering those that are attending to be interactive and share why they're attending, and they know the direct information. And so really keeping it short and simple. We've learned that asking questions at the time of the ticket purchase is kind of the best because they're in the mindset of I'm purchasing, I'm ready to, I know who's coming. When they arrive at the door, having a dedicated person to be able to ask allows you to be able to start collecting that information. Specifically, the answers collected really allows you to tell your story of, hey, we had people coming from Canada. We had 5 families coming all the way from East Coast. Those are the kind of details that are helpful, and because you collected that directly from your attendees that are coming. So in the sense of what we've learned, something as simple as this statement, because we're not trying to ask you to bombard people. It's personal information, private information to many, but saying, welcome to our event facility or website. We would appreciate it if you took the next few moments to anonymously answer the following questions so that we can remain eligible for grants, such as the Poulsbo Tourism Grant. Explaining the why of why you are collecting the data really allows them to understand and build that trust with you as the event organizer and recognize, okay, I understand they're not trying to sell this to someone. They're really trying to gain understanding so that they can make this event better for the future. So we've created these 4 really quick questions. So if you are asking at the time of ticket purchase, where are you from, specifically zip code? Are you staying the night in Poulsbo as the example, yes or no? How many are in your party, number of people? And how did you hear about us? Those questions can be really fast for someone that's attending because they know that information. For you, it takes a lot longer to gather it all. So again, asking the question is always worth being able to tell that story. So, here we go. There we go. We are going to dive into our Google Analytics dashboard portion with Miss Algelin here. I want to make sure we're sharing the full screen. Let's see, we had it open right here. Okay, so we've got Google Analytics. Yep, that should be there. Excellent. And I've got, yep, I'm gonna have something over here. So, thank you, Belgian audience here. Yes, and then I've got my
All right, let's see how deep state we can go here.
Let's see how deep state. And we have some fun prompt questions as such our grant seeks to be able to do live so that Algelin can help find us these answers. So when in Google Analytics, one of the first questions I always think about is what is the number of website page views? So let's find out how to do that.
All right, let me just make sure this mic is.
And I'm going to
close
write
enough.
down the answers so that we have it as a snapshot.
So you said website page views?
Yep.
All right, so when you type in analytics.google.com, it should take you to your dashboard. And what it's usually going to show you is what numbers are looking like in the past 28 days. So what I like to go to is the reports tab on the left-hand side here. And then it will go to my reports snapshot. So we have manually set up our dashboard to actually look like this. I like to look at 12 months out, just so we can see a good trend of what's happening. I'll just note that at the beginning of September, visitkitsap.com went to a new website, which is why you see a drop, because there's less content on the website than there was before, which was driving a lot of traffic beforehand. But we know this already and we're working on it. So when you are looking at any dashboard, just if you see a drop, don't get shocked. Just look into it and say, oh, what did we do this day? On the dashboard, we have our active users, so people that are coming to the website, how long they're staying on it. You can see where people are coming from by city, which pages they are landing on, where are they coming from? Are they typing in visitkidsapp.com? Are they doing an organic search like things to do in Poulsbo? Where are they coming from in the world? What's their primary language that they use to engage with our website? What are they interested in, their ages, gender, and the device that they are using? So I just like to have this dashboard ready to go and look at just to get a quick view. So I'm gonna have to ask this question again. What was the first thing you wanted me to look at, Lynn?
Great question. So we've got number of website page views. And for anyone in the audience, please feel free to ask questions that you might have within what you seek to find. And we can, live demo how Google Analytics can find it for us. But number of website page views.
So you can see that on your report snapshot, just right here where it says the active users, or I like to go to acquisition over here on the left-hand side and go to traffic acquisition. I like to go there because it gives us all of the sessions that we can have on the web page. How many are engaged? This means sessions are people that have landed on your page, just one page, and then engaged sessions are people that have gone from page to page to page to page to page. So this is where I like to look at all the different page views. You can look at this chart by day or by week or by month. And then it just tells you where they're coming from. They're either typing in your website directly or they found something on Google, like things to do in Poulsbo, or a referral. So referrals can be from emails and other websites like travelandleisure.com, or if you did display advertising, it'll tell you how many visits from your display advertising came to your website, and then organic social. So that's your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, and so on. Yes.
Okay, so the organic social, is that just collectively all of your social channels, or how is it knowing like which exactly Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is connected?
So if you want to have a better understanding of that, you'll go up here where it says session primary channel group. So all of these are channel groups. If you want something more, I know we're kind of getting out of order, Lynn, but you can go to session source / medium. And it should tell you all like exactly where people are coming from.
So it would just be like Facebook in general, not specifically
Well, it could
your
do,
Facebook page.
so if you see here in row 14, it says mobile, well, M, that's what the M is for, mobile, facebook.com/referral. So that's what that is for. If we need to do a deeper dive. Oh, is it blurry? I don't know how to change that.
You could zoom in on that page. I can.
Is it, I don't know, is it blurry?
Does that help?
As you go lower down to the.
People see a little better?
It's not the screen.
It's the screen.
Okay, I might be off.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, sorry if it's blurry. Where did my mobile go? Okay, and so usually when we're getting into it's been a while since I've done this deep dive, but in the past you used to be able to just click on here and see, okay, what exactly were they clicking on to get to your website, which post and everything.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so they're coming to your website because you have your website link attached to your Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, right? Okay.
Yeah, in our
That's what
profiles.
that's what that's giving you. Okay.
Mhm.
And so to keep us on the same page, number of website page views, if we're gonna answer that question today, it looks like the answer would be.
You go to here, let me get out of here. So for page views, it's kind of an antiquated number, but you want to get your active users. So your active users are your page views.
So that sounds like 192,000
Over the past 12 months.
over the past 12 months. And that's really helpful. If
Yeah.
you want to show Algernon, let's maybe just do it for today. I'm just curious because
For-
today's a cool day.
Boy.
Yeah, let's do yesterday. Sorry.
Okay. And then I'll go to Tiffany's question. So 28 active users, or 114.
Excellent.
Adeline, is that a unique number? Is it one-time visits per person or is it multiple visits? So I could go on and then come back later in the afternoon?
Yeah, those are unique.
So it counts once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Lynn, I'll go back
No worries.
over here. So landing page. Yeah, no, that's very antiquated terminology, website, page views. Just,
It is?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So so we should now ask active
Active
users.
users,
Okay.
yes.
See, we're learning stuff too. I love it. Okay, so number of website page views. Okay, now one of the things that we ask for is specifically where is the traffic coming from? So we ask in one of our grants about outside of 50 plus miles website views. And when I say that, I'll now say active users from 50 plus miles.
Okay, this one is just going to take some math, which when you look at the YouTube video on your own time, you'll see all the different mathing that you have to do, because I don't know how to filter it. Just to be honest, I don't know how to filter it. So what we're going to do is if you want to get, let's say 50 plus miles away, the fastest way to do that is you want to be under acquisition, traffic acquisition, and up here where it says session primary channel group, there's a plus sign and you're going to click on that. So then that way you can go to geography and region. Region is the states. So I'm going to click on that, and that's just going to be the fastest way to do this. Actually, you know what? Disregard that one. It'll be an overview. Sorry. If I don't do this like all the time every day, then you get a little rusty. Sorry. Let me do it this way because I don't want it to be. All right. We're just going to do that then. You're gonna have to do some math, but you should be able to hover next to the region, and so then that way you can sort by the state. So this is why I say like it's just gonna take some mathing because I don't know how to filter everything out yet, because I don't filter out every day. So you'll find like states like Alabama, you could do that. And then add up everything, total everything. You could find Alaska and total everything. I know there was a simpler way because I did it on the video and I'm really sorry I'm not doing this live. But it is on the video, like a very fast and easy way to find all the 50 plus miles away. So that's one way to do it. The other way is to do by city. So we're going to go to this region and then city instead for geography. And if we don't want to have to sort, oh goodness. We don't want to have to sort by the city. We can sort by the channel group. And then, no, I'm sorry, this is not a helpful demo on this.
I think even
Well,
just
you
knowing-
could do, oh, here's what I did. I think I did Poulsbo. I did stuff like I entered in Poulsbo. And then I would only get I would add up all these numbers, and then I would type in Bremerton, and then I would add up all these numbers and so on. So all the towns are within 50 plus, that are within 50 miles away, I calculated all of those numbers, and then I subtracted it from the total number of sessions that came to the website. So the example was if there were 10,000 that came to your website, then you could subtract it from this total right here, the 191,000. And then everybody else was 50 plus miles away.
No, that is very helpful. I think even understanding, so when you are searching for it, you want to be under acquisition, user acquisition, get it to geography. You can determine if you would like city or region. And then from there, as a tip, you are able to, take that total number, search for the zip codes you know are within, and then minus that. Within being able to download it, my understanding is you can download any of these reports that you're seeking. So while you see it here on the screen, you can have an Excel, essentially a report that you can now print or highlight if you're not wanting to do it directly on the Google Analytics. Or if you're trying to send it to someone, you can download that report, as you can see, sharing it. Yep, thank you for showing that, Aljalyn. Because that's what's helpful when you're trying to share, hey, I found the data. Well, we're not seeing how, where that data is from. You can have that hard copy of that snapshot. Very cool. Okay, so I just put that here.
Well, but before we move on, I would work with somebody, because my expertise is not in the Google suite. I can analyze all this data and tell you what it means. But in terms of all the setup, I would work with somebody that is tech savvy and specializes in search engine marketing or search engine optimization to help filter out, because that's what we do with our web dev team. We work with them to filter things out to help us. Yep.
So I have a question. I just went on my Wix thing and I went to the traffic and it says pages viewed, and then it says site session and then unique visitors. So pages viewed is for the last 30 days of our deal was 16,000. Site sessions was 4,000 and unique visitors was 2,000 round. Can you define what those three terms are?
Yeah, so for Greg, he mentioned that he uses Wix. And so for page views, that means all the different number of pages that were viewed on the website that is being tracked. The sessions are the number of people and how many times that they've come to your website. The unique visitors are the unique individuals that are coming to your website once.
Yeah, so like in Seattle, this was based on our Art in the Woods tour. We had 745 people from Seattle area. Then it broke it down to Bainbridge Island, Poulsbo, all the way down. And so if I was, probably the unique visitor is the number that I really would look at to see
to track the
where
humans.
the big people, where the most people come from.
Yeah.
Right? No. Interesting.
Yes.
Now-
To track humans, yes.
One other question. If you are designing your website and you go to your website, does that count as a view?
So that's it does.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
why you work with your web dev team to filter your IP address out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a question too.
Alison, I'm seeing the view demographic details city. Can you just click on that link and see what happens? Because you have created this nice dashboard, and I would love if you could even show us, for those that are trying, once you create this dashboard, then it automatically updates, right? So
Yeah.
how did you even add that active users by city to the view that we're looking at now?
I'll get to your question, Lynette, in just a moment. So when you go to report snapshot, even if you don't have one set up on Google Analytics, it should take you to report snapshot, which is essentially like the dashboard that you want. If you need to customize your report snapshot, you just find this pencil icon and it'll help you customize your report. And here on the right-hand side, you can see you can add up to 16 data points on this dashboard. And so when you want to add a card, you scroll down and you add cards. And you do it by business objectives, life cycle. So this is where, you know, like you can follow people as they go through your website, the demographic data on the users, and then, yeah. And so then there's other cards that you can do here too. This is mainly for e-commerce, people that have sales on their website. So you can really track the lifetime value of a customer. You can get pretty creepy on there if you want. But this is where you add all the different widgets is what they were called in the past, but cards to, in today's world. Okay, so we're just gonna save that. And so what I'm hoping happens is this goes away so I can, yes. Yeah, I haven't dove into why, into the why. Okay, oh, because I need to go back. There we go. And so because I just want to be able to see like how much time people are spending, who's coming to the website, where are they coming from. We just have this data on here for a quick snapshot, literally a snapshot. And then if you want a weekly report sent to you via email, you can schedule that. This is what I do. I have one every Monday come into my inbox. And so you can just name it whatever you want. You can add a description. You can add the emails. You will need to include, make sure that they're in your Google Analytics setup, the email addresses, and then however frequently you want them to go to your inbox. So it's really helpful.
Thank you for showing that.
Yep. Lynette, what was your question?
How do you know that those are real people?
How do you know those are real people? You would need to, okay, you need to kind of follow the path exploration. Let's just do that. And so this is really getting too deep, but essentially if you see, let's say like for today, or for this month, there's 5,000 people coming to your website. And if this data can show you what their path is, like if they're actually going, landing on visitkidsapp.com or poulsbobeerrun.com, and then they're going to a different page and a different page, and then finally, like after a couple pages, they go off, then it's a real human. Yeah. And then even if sometimes somebody is just going to your homepage, because some people just have like a one-page scrolling website, and that's fine. It just depends on like how long people are spending on your website. But yeah, you might have some bots, but again, that's when you can work with your web development team to see how they can filter out bots.
That's what I'm thinking.
I was gonna say, since you're alluding to the amount of time someone spends on the website, can we see where you can find out that duration that someone is spending?
Yes. Well, you can see it here. That's the average time, which we want to get that up to at least a minute in the next year. But that just makes the less time people are spending, it's usually either because you have some as seen on TV product and that you're selling it and you have one page and they just bought the product immediately, or because you need more content on your website. And that's the case here is we need more content on our website. So you can go to acquisition, user acquisition. Actually, most pages should tell you how long people are spending on your website. So this column right here, average engagement, if people have like a higher intention on something, they will spend more time on your website. If they're just looky-loos, they're just going to spend a couple seconds and then maybe come back. And that's why having a flywheel or a funnel for your marketing efforts is really important.
That's great. Well, I did have one more question. I know we want to make sure we're utilizing everyone's time. And I will check those chats. I don't know if I've seen any come up with questions from the audience, but website demographics. I always love looking into this because this helps us as we're trying to target certain areas. And we're learning maybe more women, as we've seen, like to check out our Parks and Rec page. So I'm going to spend more money on targeting them in my advertisements. But when it comes to looking at that audience information, show us how we can do that in Google Analytics.
Okay, so you'll go to the left-hand side here again, and you can go to the user section. And if you want to know the city, you can do demographic details like their city under their attributes. I'm waiting for it to let me scroll, so bear with me. Okay, I guess I have to do it manually. And so here you can see Seattle, there's over 33,000 people coming to the website to look at it. St. Louis, I really need to dive into why St. Louis. And Cheney, Washington might be those EWU grads coming over here for a visit. And then Bremerton and so on. So it's really helpful to see, okay, we've got some people coming from Asian parts of the world, San Jose. And if you want to have more data on that, you could always click on the plus sign and say, oh, where are they coming from? And so you can do cross-channel stuff here, using very techie words like stuff. And so people from Cheney, Washington are primarily typing in visitkitsap.com. Okay, that's interesting. Same thing for Guangzhou in China. So they're typing in visitkitsap.com. We have not done any advertising there, so that's very interesting. Yeah, probably. A tour company.
Same with Beijing, though. Look at that.
Oh, so the not set is, those are people probably using DuckDuckGo or something, or a VPN. Their data is set to not to collect. And the great thing is, like, Google will automatically show just 10 rows of data, but you can do up to 250. You'll see that there's over 11,000 points of data here, which is way too much to think about. But you really just want to look at the top cities that are coming to visit you. And then, what are they using to find you? So if they're typing you in directly, or if they are typing you directly, then, oh, okay, they already have your brand awareness. So then what is something that you can do to make sure that you're collecting their information on your website? Are you collecting their emails? Are you running any retargeting advertising? So an example of retargeting advertising is you've done an ad on Facebook. Somebody clicked on your website, they poked around, and then you creep on them with another ad on Facebook or travel and leisure or in an email. So that's an example of retargeting. So that's why it's helpful to understand not just where are they coming from, but what channels are they using? And then that can help you determine which channels you should use to retarget them or target people that are like them. There's also different audiences. So this should show affinity, interests. No. Okay, let me go back to my reports snapshot. So what I'm gonna do here is scroll down to interests. So you can see what people are interested in. So people are interested in food and dining. That's cool. Maybe you should do some advertising on a cooking channel show or a cooking related podcast. So these just can help give you different ideas of which channels you could advertise on.
Very cool.
Or you could maybe increase your content around those topics to
Yep.
get them to stay on your site longer, or maybe promote wineries with recipes, just an
Geez.
idea.
Thanks, Brooke. Yes, that's a
Yes.
great idea. Those are great suggestions.
I was gonna say, I always like the viewpoint of being able to see the search words. So you saw the good direct and then you saw the organic. And so being able to dive into those keywords that people are utilizing to even get to your website, I find those can be really helpful within targeting what you want to include your content to have. So you're noticing a trend for people, yes, typing in a full sentence versus a keyword there. So I think this will be great to dive in.
I was just trying to see if I can find search terms on here because I know that we have in the past.
Angela, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
So the information on their interests, is that the data that they're collecting from the person's own navigation from their devices and whatnot, not necessarily what they're clicking on
Yes.
the
Yeah.
website? Yeah.
Yeah. So you, Tiffany, love farms and vegan recipes. And so that's the content that you generally consume. So that's what we would be able to use to track people like you. Good question. Are there any other questions about? So let Lynette and Greg.
The other question I found interesting was, what type of, device did they use?
Mhm.
So can you show that, Dale? Because I found out that 50% of my people that came to my site were on a phone. Well,
Mhm.
that sure changes the way I designed that phone app because it's really sucks. And, you know, if 50% of them are coming there, I better step up the game or hire somebody, or I don't know. But
Yeah, so again, we'll go under, under user, and under the user attributes, there's a section called tech. And so you should be able to click on tech overview and see where people are coming from. So you can see their operating systems, if it's Windows, Android, iOS, iPhone, Mac, and so on. The platforms, here we go, device. And so device, it's primarily mobile, which is why we made a big shift to make sure that our website is responsive. And then desktop, I mean, it's pretty evenly split, and then tablets, it's just a little sliver. So yeah, you can see how people are engaging. So these these are the top 3 device categories that they will track. They'll also track the browser that is used. Chrome is the most popular. I was just listening to something on the news today about how the government might kind of regulate how Google manages Chrome. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep track of. And then are they doing web mobile or an app, you know, web app, web desktop, and so on. So good question. And then Lynette, what was yours?
With mine, people go out to Data Bar to buy their ticket for the event. And I do have a link. Can I set it up on here to show that they actually came straight from Data Bar to my website?
So they came from Data Bar to your website to get a ticket?
Not to get a ticket, but just to look at like frequently asked questions or how to get the hotel.
You
link.
should, if they're collecting data and those people are coming to your website, then you should be able to see that.
But I have
And
to
where
set it
you
up
would see that is either the user or traffic acquisition. I'll just do traffic acquisition. And then down here, you can usually see, so you go to this plus sign and then traffic source and then session source / medium. And so I'm just going to say datify here because it says data. If this would be where you could see it. So it maybe was from a display ad and it was from datify. then this is how many people came or how many sessions, how many engaged sessions, what's their engagement rate, and then how long they were on the website.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I don't know where your thing is.
Thank you. And I think, yes, I didn't see any other questions online. So I'm going to stop this share and we're going to go back to, here we go. Back to our presentation. If you do have more questions, we can always field those later, but again, that Google Analytics search is also a really handy way to make sure you are finding the right thing. And you're right, definitions do change within the active users to page views. So it is helpful that we're making sure we're on the same page as that update has been made to Google Analytics 4. I wanted to make sure for the rest of our time, we have about 25 more minutes. I wanted to dive into how can you host a successful event in Poulsbo. Let's see, let's just do full screen mode here. So marketing in Poulsbo, and this is something that we have actually in person and will be available at the Chambers and Visitor Centers within a brochure created by a city on empowering your event. So what is a guide to successful marketing in the city of Poulsbo? Since we're all here today, we just wanted to share. So we have talked a lot about the different types of marketing, but to dive into it, digital marketing, it's really enhancing your event's visibility through that digital marketing. So we have some specific examples for having a website and landing page. That is really helpful because that's what you're going to be able to track. So having that specifically made up is very great. So the cafnw.org is a website, and they've created a specific landing page for their event, the Poulsbo Arts Festival. Key example of it's very helpful to have a specific dedicated page to be able to talk about your event there. Same with the Poulsbo Beer Run. They've got specific landing pages for the different events that they host. Hosting a meeting, event, or open house added to the local community calendars. I happen to oversee the City of Poulsbo community event calendar. We have it really awesome segmented from, is it a kids event? Is it a free event? Is it an annual event? What kind of event is it? To be able to search from a user point standpoint, but also how can I add my event to it? There's a capability to do it. There's a subscription as well, should you like, so it gets sent every Friday morning, so you don't have to even remember to check the website. It will come straight to you. Similar to Visit Poulsbo.com and the Visit Kitsap.com. They've got a great new updated website. Definitely check it out where you can submit your event. A free resource that the city has been wanting to utilize more, and I'm curious if anyone here has utilized it, but the BCAT TV Community Bulletin Board. This is the broadcast station for Kitsap in the area, and they always encourage being able to share your news and events by sending them your event and information, so that community board is accessible to community members. Really within what you're updating digitally is having that content creation. So having emails, newsletters within updates, creating videos, whether they're promotional or instructional. There has been a trend nowadays that TikTok is resonating with the middle class, age, not class, within instructional videography. So being able to show you, try and answer those questions that people will have. Well, where is parking? What times are you operational? Will you have gluten-free options available? Will there be multilingual assets available? Those are always important. You may not think about highlighting them, but again, including that, you're kind of wanting to answer those unanswered questions that people will want to seek. Of course, those advertisements where you want to engage with prospective and past users, that retargeting that Algelin mentioned through that type of ad. And then really staying social on Facebook communities, we have found has been a really powerful thing in our smaller communities. These are specific ones to North Kitsap, the North Kitsap Network, Rediscover Kitsap, Suquamish Community, Kitsap Great Give, nonprofit resources. There's a lot of great communities out there. You can go really in depth through if you're focusing on wineries, or if you're focusing on eating, or focusing on families. Search those terms and you're probably going to find a really great group. But the more you get into those communities, the more that you're aligning yourself as a community event or involvement. So
Can I just add one
Yeah.
thing? What's also great about a lot of those Facebook community groups is they have an event tab that allows you to add your specific event into each of these Facebook community groups. So it's visibility as a post or an event.
very good highlight. Thank you. Yes, I know Facebook is becoming more and more smart as we go along with additional capabilities such as that. And then partnership marketing, we have found, especially in our community, it's you guys, our community members, that are connecting and creating and collaborating. I loved hearing from most of you in our workshop. You're not just involved in one community organization, you're involved in many. And so each of those relationships and ultimate partnerships are really helpful techniques to maximize your outreach and collaborations. As I said, I have been involved in guerrilla marketing and experiential marketing. And so having those in-person conversations, you're going to trust your partners, you're going to trust your neighbors, because that word of mouth goes a really long way. So local to Poulsbo, we wanted to highlight some of the key partners that you can work with. I won't outline them all. And again, they're not all inclusive, but it's very helpful. One I will highlight is City Council is something that addresses our city council members and is open to the public and recorded on a weekly basis. So if you have a really great event, allow your council representatives to be advocates for you. Talk to them about what they're seeing. Really great channels, networking at happy hours and luncheons, being able to work with your DMOs, those destination marketing organizations, because you want to be able to show that you're able to provide your event, not just for local, but for the larger region. Tabling at Poulsbo Farmers Market. Poulsbo is very unique because we actually have the longest running farmers market in the county, all the way from April to December. So every Saturday they're out there with local vendors. So that would be a really cool potential opportunity. If you have any questions about partnering and sponsoring, you can always reach out. But again, a really good snapshot of who is local here. And really to highlight those community organizations. As you can see, we have so many, and each of them are slightly unique, and most of them differ off of the times that they meet. So don't hesitate to reach out to them, attend their meeting. They're always excited to get more community members involved, but they often invite you to come in and share, hey, if you've got a local event, come down and share it at one of our club meetings, because people want to get activated and excited. It's always a little slow. The different types of marketing within print marketing. Yes, print is not gone away, especially in our community. We always love seeing posters and flyers. Something unique to Poulsbo is our beautiful signboard. We actually just got it recently renovated and upgraded to a pulley system, so a little safer for use. Thanks for the clap. There we go. We love it. It is used every weekend, and we have 2 of them at the beginning of the city and at the end of the city. But renting community signboards, that's a great way to make sure that you're seen and that you're a partner. Distributing flyers to local community boards and businesses. Those community boards are gyms, libraries, coffee places, restaurants. There's a lot of great local places that will be happy to share your flyer. Don't hesitate to bring it to them. And then making sure that you're identifying even through email to your blog writers, your newspapers, ensuring that you're outlining this is a press release, because those are handled differently by the media. But the Kitsap Sun, Kitsap Daily News, North Kitsap Herald, Coffee News, and then even with a really focused family and kid focus, the Macaroni Kid Kitsap. So again, a really great local resources. how to get a hold. Sometimes it is hard. So a lot of these locations have moving editors and they change on what they're focused on, but I'm happy to share with you the contacts that we use.
My wife got on the board, the editorial. board.
Oh, there we
That's how
go.
you
See,
gotta
local
recognize the
connections
editor.
right here. And so as we seek to continue more events and expand more possibilities, we wanted to share some local funding opportunities. So the city itself has a special grant there, the Poulsbo Tourism Grant, funded by lodging tax. It did used to be called the lodging tax grant, but it's not, a little verbose and a little harder to understand. But with the goal of that lodging tax to be used towards Poulsbo tourism, we actually had 15 applicants this year, and we're really excited. You can see on the left-hand the different many organizations that we've supported that help create and bring events into town. It is something that you may be eligible for. The Washington State Tourism Organization is also, they offer several different types of grants throughout the year. We wanted to just highlight a couple that are coming up right now within the type of marketing and focused grants that they can offer. Again, every organization's different, so we didn't want to, so we wanted to show you some ideas, but again, some resources. Washington Festivals and Events has a grant, and Arts WA also offers grants. These websites are really great because you can search in very specific industries in regards to what you may be providing. And someone very local to us here in North Kitsap is a specific grant writer with E2 Consulting. And so she had hoped to be here today, but was not able to, but she really is very excited with her consulting services to help the compelling statement of need. I was able to see her at a talk, and as you're seeking grant funding, it may be helpful for you to pursue that so that you're getting the maximum amount for what you're looking for and finding the right fit. Overall, I know this has been a fast 90 minutes. We've got 5 minutes to spare, I know, but we are so happy to be able to do this in person. And we really want to inspire you to stop dreaming and start doing, because you're already doing it. This is just refining some of those tips and tricks for you. And we really hope that you found a lot of value in this time. And we will again share this with all of those online, but also to be able to refer to. But thank you so much for joining us all, and I will stay online if there's any questions. I don't see any questions online. Excellent. We'll keep it going for a little longer, but we're gonna, I see a thank you from Brian. You're most welcome, sir. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us on a Tuesday morning here. And we are always here as local resources. Okay. Here we go. Oh.